got transactions in there that are from January. So once again, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing originally and change this back to the 1st of January to make sure I get them all properly. Okay, so there's all my figures in there, and I'm going to reconcile my VAT return. Okay, that's been reconciled successful. Next thing I'm going to do is print my VAT return. This will print a few different reports. Prints one where it shows us all the different boxes. We've got this report that shows it in more summarised, and then we've got this one that shows all the boxes with the values. Okay, so we'll close that VAT return. We'll select VAT return from the menu again, and now we can see our historical VAT return, the one that we've just done. Obviously saves all the figures in there. Okay, so if I want to, I can drill down into these figures. So drill down into that, for instance, and it'll show me what transactions went into making the figures. It's basically based on all the journals. If I view box 2, it'll also have a notional rate in here for our EC purchases. Okay, what I'm going to do now is create a journal template, which is here under the Tools menu. There's no template set up already, so I need to create a new one. So I'm going to go through the wizard, and I want my template to be based on percentages. And I can put references in here if I want to. Okay, now the account codes that I want are 7004, and it's going to be 100% on the debit. And then I want 7006, which is our NI nominal, and that's going to be a 30% split on the credit. And then it's going to be 7003, which is our staff salaries, and that's going to be the remaining 70%. So both these have to come to 100% basically. So if I now go next and finish, and then just refresh the screen, then I've got my journal showing in there now, my journal template in there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is use that template to create a journal. So if I go into new journal this time, and then I'll have the option here to select my template. So I'm going to select my template. All I'm going to do is key in 1000 into the debit column, and what that will do is it will split between the 70/30 split in the others. And I'm just going to save and close on that journal. Okay, I'm now going to run the multi-currency revaluation. There's a whole page in the training document to explain what the multi-currency revaluation does, so I'm not going to repeat that here, so you can have a read of that. So historical revaluations showing here. I'm going to click the new button because I want to kick off a new revaluation. Okay, so I'm going to set the date to be 23rd of the 1st, and then click the Get Transactions button. Okay, so it shows me the transactions that are on the revaluation. So I can look at the ones for suppliers, customers, bank accounts, and the journal entries that it will create if I want to revaluate it. So now I can click the Revaluate button, so you can see the difference between the transactions on the multi-currency revaluation. So I'm just going to click Revaluate, which then prints me off the report showing exactly what we did in the various nominals, why we had to do that evaluation basically. I'm now going to run another revaluation. I'm going to close that one down. If I go back into that option or refresh the screen, we'll see that we've got our historical one there. Now I'm going to do a new revaluation, but this time I'm going to change my exchange rate. So I'm going to change my euro currency to 2. and my USD to 3. Now that I've done that, I should have quite a few differences on here. So I've got a few more differences because I've just changed that. So I can see my journal here, which is going to zero the previous revaluation that we did, and then it puts the figures back on. So I'm going to reevaluate this one also. Again, we get the report, and if I refresh the screen, we'll now see that I've got 2 revaluations in there. Next thing we're going to do is the stock revaluation. To run the stock revaluation, again, no historical ones there, so I need to click the new button to run a new one, which basically shows all of our items, etc. So if we look at an average costed item, we'll notice that the average costing method is the quantity in stock times the average cost there, which equals the total value. So we've got quantity in stock 3,000, £2, etc. If I look at the FIFO item, we have to click the little plus next to it to see what exactly that's made up of. So we have an unconfirmed and confirmed cost on our FIFO item. So if it's got a confirmed cost, it will use it, as in if we've had a bill for an item. But if we've only had the GRN for an item and we haven't yet confirmed the cost, it will use the unconfirmed cost. In this case, it's both the same, so it wouldn't make any difference. But for some items, you might get a GRN in at a different cost to what the bill actually comes in at. And if we've got a standard costed item in the list, which we should have as our bullets item, all this does is uses the standard cost times the quantity left in stock. There's a few notes in there again for the currency revaluation in the manual that you should have a read through to say exactly what it's going to do. So basically, we've got a difference here of this much, quite a large difference on here, which I think is because of the opening balance transactions, the way that they post. So if I click revaluate on here, that's basically going to create my journal. When it's finished, I can then view the journal to see the journal that's been posted to amend my my inventory control and confirm cost of goods sold. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is a batch posting. Okay, so we've already got the batch posting I did for December in